we are. Okay, so let's do an advanced search. That's really where we want to start with. And we'll do a search on social presence and online and community. And I'm going to get full text journals, articles, and I want articles only published in the last 10 years. Okay, still a lot of articles. And what happened to my search terms? Social presence online and community. There we go. Personal profiles. So that's pretty cool. I have never seen this article. In online learning communities, the role of personal profiles. I probably want to look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign into my EBSCOhost folders account. Maybe not. What I'll do is I'll just put them in a folder on continual participation in online social identity theory. Oh, this is a good one I haven't seen. Student Experience Online Sport Management Program. Community of Inquiry Framework. That's pretty cool. Building a bi-directional bridge between social presence and interaction. Don't want gaming. Criticality and the exercise of politeness in online spaces for professional learning. Library and information science. I want to read that abstract. Qualitative assessment of social presence in online forums. Okay, let's see what I want this to look at this because I want to know what assessment, like what rubric they used. Exploring multidimensional conceptualization in the context of online. Knowledge building communities. Well, I'm all over knowledge building communities. From Moodle, exploring students' motivation and experiences. Teaching in a hybrid community of mentor teachers. Knowledge contributions. Cheaters. Analysis of interactions with and between extreme right communities and social media. Okay, so I've put a couple of articles in the folder, and I'm just going to go to this folder. And because I'm not signed in, I just want to at first read the abstracts. Online communication is increasingly used in education. but is not without problems. Lack of social presence, features of online communication systems, increase one personal profiles and photos, enhance. 2 studies which investigated learners' use and perceptions of personal profiles in online forums. So, kind of like, I'll be interested to read, I want to read this one, interested to read the responses from the learners, and if this privacy concern can be, for these other learners, if this privacy concern can be ameliorated, then we have something maybe we can work with. Okay, so that is in the directory of open access journals, which I will open up over here in another tab, and then I will just grab that article later. I'm going to go back to my folder list and see that I have 9 articles in my folder, and I'm not logged in to my EBSCOhost Folders journal account, so if I close this browser session, I'm going to lose all these. I'd have to search for them again. Continual participation in online communities, the relational view based on social identity theory. I need to read the abstract. This was a conference presentation, International Joint Conference on Service Sciences, on Service Sciences. Virtual communities. This research incorporates social identity theory to investigate the influence of infusing social presence. Also, social. Okay. Social presence. So, trying to identify the causal relationship between social presence and continual participation of virtual community members. 2 plausible research models are compared in the associated research methodology. Okay, so this might actually be useful for some other research that I am doing. And so over here on the left-hand side, this article, again, is not in EBSCOhost, but I am able to find it in IEEE Explorer. And so I've opened that in a different window, and I'll download that later. And then back to the folder list. So I've gone through 2 of the articles. Here's the 3rd. So this was the 2014 International Conference on Teaching and Learning in Computing and Engineering. Of course, I want to read the abstract. Purpose of it: identify students' perceptions on social presence, on online learning in online. And then, so it's making a relationship between online learning and academic performance, undergraduate students. Learners. Yeah, so this is just a discussion of how social presence works in online learning. Quantitative data. Content analysis. So this is hasn't been done, or they hadn't done it at the time of this presentation. So there's no report of the results there. And I just want to see if maybe they give some information in this if the full document, I have to check for full text in the USA databases. Okay, looks like I'd have to do an interlibrary loan. I don't really believe that. I'm going to do some investigating later on. So I'm going to go back to the folder list and look at article number 4. Enhancing the student experience in online sport management programs. Oop. A review of the community of inquiry framework. I wonder how this is working. Sense of community, little research, teaching present, interaction. So this is a description of the community of inquiry framework. That a community of learning can be developed, that's what we propose, and effective higher levels of learning can be implemented. The purpose of this review is to provide an overall perspective on the COI as a means to enhance the student experience. Implications for practical application in sports management programs and directions for future research. Okay, I'm in. Open that one in a new tab. So by opening these in a new tab, I can just come back and go through these tabs and read each one of these. So this is just another way of using the folders without being signed in. Exercise of politeness in online spaces for professional learning. I'm just curious. I want to briefly read this abstract. Master's Credit Online aimed at fostering criticality. The ways in which written language mediates social presence in fostering a critical disposition to professional learning. We conclude that the collective faith wants of the online community led to the creation of an online space in which participants are supported by their peers to do being critical. Okay, yeah, that does sound pretty good. And I'll read that one too. I found some really good articles. Qualitative assessment of social presence in online forums. Qualitative data analyzed based on Rourke. So this is the social presence, the community of inquiry survey that Rourke et al. Developed and validated.
What are you going to do? Take it out?
And we know this, the female students were found to have used social presence indicators the most. So this is more validation of Rourke et al. I would not mind browsing that one either. Okay. So back to the folder list. We're on number 7, exploring multidimensional conceptualization of social presence in the context of online communities. So these articles are all, because I put online community in my search, these articles are a different perspective than the one I used, which was the individual social presence in a learning community. A little bit different. I mean, social presence doesn't change, but the environment that these articles are approaching the investigation of social presence in is different from the environment that I investigated. So again, here we have a nice definition of what social presence is and how it works. Motivational theory and social presence theory are integrated to develop a model explaining online community participation. So this is what they've done. Different from prior research, fully mediated a direct effect of different from being fully mediated through motivation, a direct effect of social presence on participation is to hypothesize over and above those effects that are mediated. 3 social presence dimensions of particular relevance: awareness, affectives, and cognitive social presence. This is the different social presence. Identified and investigated. All right, I'm not interested in that article. I'm going to delete it from my folder. And so I can delete it from the folder. I'll just put a check mark right there. And then I can do this now. And I can delete, hopefully only the selected one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. We might just want to start another pile. Okay, so we're cleaning up in circulation, and so people were asking me questions about getting rid of old technology. Okay, so social presence in collaborative learning, analysis of interactions in a knowledge building community. So this is my area of interest, this idea of knowledge building through interactions and the role that social presence may or may not have. Facilitate levels of comfort and assurance of safety. So this idea of privacy, comfort, safety, feeling like you're not going to be ridiculed online when you're in the online classroom. Those are facets of social presence. The analysis of student and instructor messages. In-depth analysis of messages was based on social presence model. Time availability, type of course and workload. Strategies to improve social presence. Okay. I want to read that whole article. 2014, International Conference on Interactive Collaborative Learning. Whoops. Well, what'd I do? Here we go. Sorry, folder list. One more. Knowledge contribution in virtual communities, accounting for multiple dimensions through social identity. Oh, heck yeah. This is a 2010 article, so it's at like approaching the edge of the time frame that I would want to be investigating. Behavior and Information Technology Journal. Integrating social presence theory and social identity theory. This study brings system design and social influence aspects together to explain their joint effects on knowledge contribution versus virtual communities. Nice. A unidimensional approach and restricts social presence to be the subjective nature of media. Developed a model explaining the effects of multidimensional social presence. The results showed the difference in relative contribution of social presence dimensions on social identity as well as knowledge construction. Okay, I'm going to read that one too. And so I'm just simply going over to the link to the article, right-clicking on it with my mouse, and then getting from this option, open link in new tab, so that I have a list now of articles that I can read. And so at this point, I could start reading these articles. And so here's an approach. Let's see, I'm not sure how long I've been broadcasting, but here's an approach, how I would approach going through these articles. So I would probably refresh myself by skimming this abstract, and then browsing or skimming the introduction, like kind of like figuring out what problem they're trying to solve, how they are defining social identity and self-categorization theory. I don't know like as much about this as I need to, so it'll be interesting to read about that. And then conceptualization of social presence. So I want to know how they are conceptualizing social presence. It's a mouthful. And then like the research model. So I will just like skim this article and read the research, like the hypothesis, because that'll give me a good framework for like thinking about what they're saying. There's sample and data collection. So what did they do? What instruments? Here we go. We objectively examine the knowledge contribution, the total number based on total number of posting, the number of different threads, and the number of new threads created. I'm not fond of this kind of measurement of online discussion, because this just like can be a measure of how well the students perform perfunctory performance rather than the content of what they're saying. So already I don't know, what else did they measure? So factor analysis. We measure awareness, affective and cognitive social presence with a 7-point scale adapted from Shin and Kaloff, 2007. I've never seen this, so what I do want to take away from this article is this 7-point scale. So I do want to know more about the 7-point scale. So at this point, the value of this article for me is in the data mining, like the references mining. Because now I'll just go down and get the citation for this citation here. Okay, so that's a keeper. I will probably open this up in my Google browser where I have my Mendeley plugin. I haven't put a Mendeley plugin in Firefox yet, but I need to do that. But at this moment, I wonder if I can save this right to Google Drive. What does this do? Save it to Google Drive. That's new. Is it doing something? Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. I can't tell if I'm saving it to Google Drive. My document has been saved to my Google Drive account. All right, thank you. Oh, well, that's new. Okay, so at this point, this same procedure that I've shown you for this, I will do that same kind of skimming and then then later on I'll do a more in-depth reading of the article in a probably on my tablet, so I can make annotations and highlights and save that to one of my bibliographic management software programs. And I'll probably do a presentation on using a tablet or an electronic device to do that process. I can show that at another time. All right, so that's pretty much how I go about doing this first level of searching when I'm searching for a topic. And I already have some information about social presence and online learning and knowledge construction. And so I'm kind of, I'm taking a new vein of that research I've already done and going to investigate that and then see where it goes from there. I'll probably be able to get a paper out of what I've already written and these new articles, or at least conference proceedings or a presentation. All right, thanks for joining me in this exploration of using Google Hangout to provide you with some office hours. And I look forward to seeing you at the next broadcast. Bye-bye.